What's up, everybody? I'm Johnny.
And I'm Danny.
And we are not all there. And we're coming at you today with the top 10 reasons we didn't like the Battlefront beta.
Coming in at number 10 is Colonial Rifles. Hey, Johnny.
Yeah, Danny?
Did you know that a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, while we were flying spaceships and shooting lasers at each other, we were also using fucking Colonial muskets?
Yeah, it's weird. In a game where DICE clearly wanted to sell it on an immersive Star Wars experience, the cycle rifle isn't themed at all. It looks like a old-timey musket.
Yeah, that thing would take, about a good solid minute to shoot, reload, and then shoot again.
And it really does, but it's part of the card system, so it has to regenerate every time you use it, and at least in the beta, it's not consistently accurate. You could have your crosshairs on someone, shoot it, and it won't hit.
Yeah, and then you can shoot somebody from 1,000 meters off and just hit them perfectly without even trying.
On that same note, if I miss with the cycle rifle, I can just switch to my blaster rifle and nail a guy from like half a map away. Why the fuck is there a sniper rifle when I can nail a guy from half a map away?
Poor game design.
Coming in at number 9, we have a stupid fucking card system.
Gotta love playing cards. Didn't realize this was a card game.
Yeah, I didn't know I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I mean, this is a common thing these days to like, Halo's implementing it, a bunch of different games are implementing like burning cards to have abilities. But it's usually like a pre-match thing or unlockables,
right,
like in Titanfall.
Oh yeah, that's a good card system to use.
But for some reason, the Battlefront beta, it's linked to your grenades and secondary weapon. There's no loadouts, you just pick your primary weapon, then you have 2 cards that are like equipment, so it's like the cycle rifle, a grenade, a jetpack, and I'm sure a lot of other things in the main game, and then there's like a power-up you can have.
Right, exactly, and like any normal person, you would have a grenade and a sniper rifle, but I decided to use a jetpack once, and there's no point to it, so the card system shouldn't even be implemented.
Just give us normal loadouts that I can customize and go into battle with whatever feel I need at the time.
Such an easy solution. And coming in at number 8 is third person. The reason why we play Battlefront games.
Yeah.
The entire reason why is to play in third person. What's the problem with third person, Johnny?
The problem with third person is, in an effort to nostalgia jerk us off, DICE throws in a third person mode. Great, but there's also iron sights in this game on all the guns, and you lose your ability to do that when you go to third person, making it wildly inaccurate and disadvantaging you on the battlefield.
So even though it's nostalgic, it really is pointless, and you can't be a competitive player if you want to play in third person. So,
yeah,
are we playing for fun, like a fully casual, or are we going to play to, like, compete? I'm playing to compete.
Yeah, and forget playing to compete or be a casual. You're going to get slaughtered if you play through a whole match in third person. A lot of this game takes place from, like, across the field, taking long shots at an enemy encampment. You're not going to be able to do that in third person.
And good luck playing a whole match in third person, because we tried for 2 minutes and we were glitching all the way through the map. Hopefully they fix it, but
third person's very glitchy.
It's impossible to play through.
Coming in at number 7, we have the really unresponsive, shitty vehicle control that is, unfortunately, in the Battlefront beta. Now, I know a lot of people complained about no space battles.
Right, you gotta, tit for tat here. They gave us vehicles, but they took away space battles.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't really mind that. Maybe we'll get it at a future title. But this title doesn't show that they know really how to make these vehicles control.
Yeah, they don't implement them well in the maps at all. I mean, you hop into a ATST, that's a perfect example, and you're clunking around the map, and it's, you can't really play a walker in an infantry map. They don't know the difference.
Yeah, and the ATST doesn't always sprint. The sprint function doesn't always work on it. And they don't show what you're firing very well in the ATST. I never really know where my bullets are landing because I don't see them.
Right,
but they kind of just appear.
Exactly. They added the cool function of flying from within the cockpit, but again, it's like flying in third person. It's just a pointless feature where it's like, oh, it's cool to be flying around, but you're not going to be able to see where you're going because the maps are so small.
And the flying is so dogfighty and intricate, you need a 360 scope of what you're doing, or some guy's going to come up behind you and shoot the shit out of you.
Exactly. It's like one of those ooh, let me fly around things, but it's really not going to help you play the game in a competitive manner.
You can make a difference, but they're not fun to control, and that's what it comes down to.
Number 6. Being a hero sucks.
Fuck being a hero, man. The way everything works in Battlefront, ordnance, vehicles, and heroes is on-map pickups. there's little power-ups that assign you either a random ordnance, a vehicle, or a hero. Now, the ordnance, interesting. Vehicle, spawn them in a hangar. Let me grab them there. Much simpler. But the heroes are where it really suffers. At base, you could think it's a good idea because back in the old Battlefront games, it was just whoever was doing the best in the match.
Exactly.
And as much as that made sense, maybe I wasn't doing great, but I still wanted to be Mace Windu, but I couldn't do that. Here, it's whoever grabs the power. And Danny, what was your experience with that?
Oh, well, after searching and hunting around the Hoth level for about 45 minutes, Johnny
Because
and
there's no marker on the map where they are.
They don't pop up. They decide instead of fighting in the battle, you have to go out searching for the power-up, which we found. It took us 45 minutes, and Johnny got to play as Darth Vader.
And Luke Skywalker.
And Luke's... Okay, Johnny got to play twice. I never got to play as a hero, but I can tell you, as a person searching for the hero power-up, it doesn't make the game very fun.
And here's the thing, when you play as the hero, there's an intro, their theme music starts playing, it feels awesome for about 5 seconds. And then you realize they control like shit. Their movement feels jumpy and clunky, even though Luke Skywalker moves really, really fast. And you have to play so cautiously with the hero when I feel like I should be able to go in and tear up as much as I want. And I know that's not balanced, but make my health decrease more over time like it did in the old games. It just doesn't feel satisfying. Darth Vader's too slow, and all of their movement is just far too jumpy.
Being hero sucks.
Coming in at number 5, yes, we are in the home stretch, the worst of the worst for this beta. We have the unbalanced shit heap that is Walker Assault.
Woo! Yep. If you play as the Imperials, you don't have a problem at all. It's great. You get to steamroll some Rebels, and you're gonna win. You're definitely gonna win. I don't think I've ever played a match where the Rebels actually won.
I've never played a full match where the Rebels took it. It's never happened.
We came close. We, as the Rebels, came close once.
Yes. We destroyed the second Walker, but the game decided the match was already over, so they let the Imperials win.
I don't even think the developers put in the option for the Rebels to win, to be honest, because we dropped them. We dropped them down, and then it said defeat. And it was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's just not fun to play on either side. Either you're steamrolling someone, and as cool of like a little satisfaction that can give you like, oh yeah, fuck them, they don't stand a chance. You want a challenge in a game 95% of the time. And playing as the Rebels, you just feel like you're getting your dick kicked in 24/7, and that's even less fun.
Sometimes getting your dick kicked in is more of a challenge. Number 4 is the radar. Johnny, what the hell is wrong with the radar?
The radar is like your standard Halo type radar. You're in the center, and there's little pie wedges all around you, and those wedges light up based on where an enemy is. But here's the thing, it doesn't indicate it well enough. The game is unsure exactly what direction the enemy's in and what plane they're on. There's no differentiation in the severity of the red to let you know, oh, they're above you, oh, they're below you, oh, you're on the same plane as them, like the Halo games do.
Exactly. Basically, it feels like you're playing, oh, nope, you're hotter, you're warmer, oh, nope,
Yeah.
you're colder, and sometimes the game just decides not to tell you when there's an enemy around, which makes it really fun.
Yeah, it's the worst when you're playing the pod mode, where you have to take the pods on Sullus, the Sullus game mode. Because there's an area of the map that's giant rock formations with little paths between them, and if there's anybody else in those paths, it always seems like they're right next to you, even if they're not.
Yeah, you can be surrounded from like up on a mountain, but again, the radar doesn't show elevation, so what good is the radar if it can't show you where an enemy is, even in a roundabout way?
No good! Number 3 is confused grenades. Now, if you thought bad indication of the radar where an enemy was, bad indication on the HUD where a grenade is even worse.
Grenades feel like they're going through an existential crisis, essentially, because sometimes you throw them and they're like, let me kill everybody within a 100-meter distance, and there's other times when you'll throw it and you can be standing right next to it and it won't damage an enemy. They don't know who they are.
Yeah, sometimes there will be a grenade indicator on your screen. I know there is one in the game.
There's one there. I've seen it.
But it's so small and doesn't pop out enough on your HUD, and it doesn't... I'm convinced it doesn't show you it if it's not in your eyesight.
Oh, no, it's actually, yeah, you're right. It's in your point of view. You have to be facing the grenade in a roundabout high wedge.
Yeah, it won't force its way onto your screen to let you know where the grenade is. And then, even if you're a little bit away from it, the blast radius isn't clear. The animation for the blast radius, say, is this big. The blast radius is this big. It's gonna kill you even if you don't think you're gonna get hit by it.
Yeah, grenades can be a bitch, especially when they don't know that they're grenades. Coming in at number 2 is spawn points that don't give a fuck.
This one frustrates me so much because it works on both ways. And I'm not talking about spawning on a partner either. That works just fine. Using the base game spawn points can fuck you over in 2 ways. The first way being, you could spawn into a bowl of fuck.
Yeah, it's happened. I've spawned in the middle of 5 enemies. I kid you not. It doesn't matter where anybody's positioned. You will spawn where the game decides to put you. Whether there's enemies or teammates there, you're gonna spawn where you don't want to spawn.
Yeah, I spawned with an ATST, an enemy ATST, turning the corner and immediately getting killed. And the second way it can fuck you is, in the same way that it doesn't have a sensor if there's enemies around a spawn point to not spawn you there, it doesn't have that if you're the enemy around the spawn point. So if the game is shifting where it's spawning enemy teammates, and you just happen to be in an area for that, it's gonna spawn them right on you. And a lot of times, it's behind you.
All the time.
Yeah.
Behind you. I've been in a position where I have a really good spot on the map, and all of our forces are on that side, and they'll still spawn the enemy behind you guys.
Yeah, it takes away any tactical play in the game, because if you have an enemy pinned and you're fighting them, but then the spawn rotates and they're behind you and they get the drop on you, what was all the work you just put in for?
Right, you just got flanked and they probably don't even know what flanked means. Drum roll!
Coming in at number 1, this isn't a fucking Battlefront game.
Can I say it now?
Yep.
This game is buns!
It really is buns. But I want to make something clear. It's not a bad game.
No, it's a fun game.
It's a competent shooter in the Battlefield style. And the Star Wars skin on it is very pretty. And it is immersive. But it's not a Battlefront game.
No, it's not. You can say it is. You absolutely can. But DICE took the reins with this one and decided, hey, Battlefield was a success. Why don't we just do the same shit? Same formula. And we'll just throw some Star Wars shit in.
If they called this game like Star Wars Rebel Resurgence, and it was just a shooter, it'd be like, oh, this is cool. But it's just not a Battlefront game. It has the Battlefront name. I expect it to play like the PS2 Battlefront that I loved. And fuck you, it still holds up. The big changes are iron sights, because you could go first person in Battlefront 2, but it was like Halo.
It was a choice. It was a choice. You got to choose your play style, and both worked.
Yeah, and quick deaths. You could get shredded quickly if you were a fucking idiot in Battlefront 2, but you could take hits. It feels just like a Battlefield or a Call of Duty game, where if somebody gets the jump on me, I don't have a shot. Like, if they get one shot before I get one shot, I'm dead. Like, I'm gonna get shredded in 2 or 3 hits, and there's not much I can do about that.
Exactly. If I wanted to play Battlefield, I would just hop into Battlefield and, face some noobs that are going to pop my head off the minute I come around cover. But I want to play a Battlefront game. I know they sound the same. I mix them up all the time, but I feel like DICE mixed it up big time.
At the end of the day, they preyed on nostalgia, they preyed on the Star Wars model, and put a very shiny coat of Star Wars paint on a Battlefield game. And it's good, but it's really hard to say. Besides, it just doesn't have the feel of a Battlefront game, so I can't recommend this to you. Go play Star Wars Battlefront, because it's not Star Wars Battlefront.
I mean, in essence, what you should do is wait for Xbox One to be backward compatible, and if you have a Battlefront copy, then you can play that.
Yep, that's what I would do if I were you. Alright, that was our top 10 list. What do you guys think of our complaints? Did you like the beta, or did you hate it a lot like we did? Let us know in the comments section below. And hit us with a like and subscribe as well.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Give us some other games to play, and maybe we'll start doing some top 10s for those games. Maybe even movies. Top 10s for everything.
We've always got plenty to bitch about.
We've got a lot of things to bitch about. So check us out next time.
What up?